Hello, Bobs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 231. Since I've had a cold for about a week, I haven't gone out to get many books, but some of these are from last week. I think 6 of them. This one is not Cunt, a Declaration of Independence, expanded and updated second edition. I mean, quite a manifesto. 2002, Cunt. See what some of this vulgarity is. According to every woman-centered historical reference I've read from M. Esther Harding to bell hooks, the containment of women's sexuality was a huge priority to emerging patriarchal, religious, and economic systems. Cunts were anathema to forefather types. I mean, this is just balderdash, but I got it. A friend sent me a book with a note that said, Dodson, you're going to love this woman. The bright yellow cover had a pink daisy with cunt written in the center. I dropped the book into my handbag to read on my trip to San Francisco. Shocking. The following day, the plane landed before I knew it. My nose was buried in this bold, brave declaration of independence written by a young woman named Inga Muschio, who was surely my spiritual granddaughter. Over the next 4 days, looks like it's got a bit of moisture exposure to it. Yeah, cry for attention. These from last week. Lovely Mary by the author of Mrs. Wiggs and the Cabbage Patch, which I also have. Alice Caldwell Hagar? I don't get it. Why are they different names? Oh, they aren't. What? Alice Caldwell. What does that say? Does it say Alice Hegan? Won't you get married? What the hell's going on here? Alice Caldwell Hegan. Lovely Mary. See if I can't get another title page here. God damn, this is difficult. Alice Hegan Rice. Yeah, she must have got married. When's MCMV? It's at 1905. Yeah, I'm sure the publishers love that. Hey, I got married in between, bruv. To Cal Young Rice, who taught me the secret of plucking roses from Cabbage Patch. To my mother. Oh, see, this one was 1901. This is 1902 and 3. Anyway, I don't know what they're about, but they were 99 cents. They're old. And they're mine. Mostly I like the pictorial covers. Not that I have an interest in those topics, but there you go. Nabokov's Butterfly and Other Stories of Great Authors and Rare Books. As Nabokov's Butterfly amply demonstrates, great books tell unique stories that extend well beyond those written. Author and master rare book dealer Rick Bukowski offers 20 fascinating tales of his encounters with rare editions of some of the most beloved books ever written. These include On the Road to Confederacy of Dunces, The Catcher in the Rye, The Satanic Verses, and The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Rick Bukowski. Where's that book I got today that has similar feel? Oh, it's down there. I'll just wait. Gwendy's Button Box by Richard Chismar and Stephen King. I imagine Chismar is his ghostwriter. Don't know if it's what this book's about. Here are 3 ways up to Castle View from the town of Castle Rock, Route 17, blah, 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 2017. First edition. The small town of Castle Rock, Maine has witnessed some very strange events. Sure it has. Shy, the alarmingly outspoken memoirs of Mary Rogers. And I believe she was in Broadway, but then she also wrote books, so that was the main reason why I picked this up. Her father was Richard Rogers, perhaps the greatest American melodist. Her son, Adam Gutel, a worthy successor. Shy is the story of how the woman in the middle, Mary Rogers, 1931 to 2014, grew from an angry child into a cultural figure in her own right. The composer of Once Upon a Mattress, a renowned author of books for young readers, including the classic Freaky Friday, and in a final grand turn, the chairman of the Juilliard School. The 12th Planet by Zechariah Sitchin, author of Genesis, revealed, obviously, he's a paranormal icon. I think he may still be alive. I don't know, though. He could be dead, though. Anyway, this is an early copy. I don't think it's the first edition, but I think it's a early copy. I got it free at the library. When you buy 2, you get 1 free, so this was the 3rd I found. The Earl's Return by Meredith. This is 1890s, I think. The Earl's Return. Damn pages are like cardboard. Literally like cardboard. 1886. I think it's just a long narrative poem. That would have been a nice original plate to have. Dude. Just turn to it. Look at that. That's nice too. Where's the lion? Is that on a naked body? Jesus. When all was dreamers. What does that say? Dreamers? Dreariness in the skies. Nice illustrations. I assume those are from the first edition. I don't know anything about this, but it was only $1, so couldn't go wrong. Best Family, Abigail and John Adams. Part of the library books that I got. And then today, digging through a basket at the Salvation Army, which apparently they gave me everything half off because of Martin Luther King's birthday. So I got 4 Charles Bukowski books. 14th printing. Be great if it was signed, but it is not. Pulp. Original Black Sparrow, where he was first published in en masse. Obviously had a few earlier books, but those were not. Oh, what's this? Just a shitty little factotum. Obviously a reprint by Echo, who took over for Black Sparrow. Apparently this is to celebrate Bukowski's 100th anniversary. I believe he was born in 1920. 1920 to 1994. Notes of a Dirty Old Man, a laureate of American Low Life Time magazine. It does have a tear in it, which somewhat ruins the value. Oh, this is an English edition. It appears. Very boring cover. The writing's okay. I mean, I would say Bukowski is probably more entertaining than 75% of writers out there, but I wouldn't consider him literature by any means, which tells you what I think of actual literature. Charles Bukowski, The Most Beautiful Woman in Town. I have 2 copies of this, but I think they're both in worse shape than this copy. City Lights. Was this published within his lifetime, before 94? I think it was. As you can see, some of the topics are 12 flying monkeys who won't copulate properly, horseshit horse advice. Yeah, he was smarmy purposely. Soren Kierkegaard, Fear and Trembling. I'm sure I have a copy of this, but no, I have another. The Old Testament story of Abraham's journey to the mountain to sacrifice Isaac. Still only read one book by Kierkegaard many years ago, and it's probably all I'll ever read. It was enough. Purity of Heart. Very good book. I liked it. London Assurance and Other Victorian Comedies from Oxford English Drama. Could not find this on eBay at all, which is curious. But when I put it on, or I scanned the ISBN sticker, I don't know if it's the same as what's on the book. Well, it did show this title. And Thrift Books showed that they would pay me $3 for it. So I figured, hell, at worst I can make $3 off it. So I got it. London Assurance. Money, London Assurance Engaged, and The High Bid by Henry James. A Treatise of Tolerance and Other Writings by Voltaire. Just your common paperback. Obviously nothing special. Can't say I've ever read Voltaire either. Here Comes the Rebels. I believe this is about the Civil War. Wilbur Sturtevant and I. Could be about the American Revolution. No, it's definitely about the rebels. Civil War. This book seems to have some value, so I may just sell it. This may be like one of those conspiracy versions of the war, which by most standards would be the truth, as opposed to the standard lies. Sinclair Lewis Dodsworth by Grosset and Dunlap. I think 1928 it is. I had a bunch of Sinclair Lewis books, and I think I sold some of them, but I don't remember when I bought them. I think I got them, a bunch of them for $0.10 a piece. Back in the day when the Salvation Army was selling books for $0.10, and I stockpiled them, and that's why I mainly have so many books to begin with. But the last 3 years, I would say I've probably doubled my book count. Got to believe I have 6,000 books. Could be wrong, though. Never read Lewis, though I've intended to. Let's see what we got up here. I can't happen here. Selected short stories of Sinclair Lewis. And there's Dodsworth. I do have a Dodsworth, but it's a paperback. There's the Wandering Air. All right. There's the book I mentioned about 15 minutes ago. Vintage Reading, From Plato to Bradbury. A personal tour of some of the world's best books. The Outermost House by Henry Beston. Never heard of him. Margaret Mead, Coming of Age. I have that book somewhere. Selected Works, Marcus Cicero, Microbe Hunters by Paul de Cruyff. Cruyff. Democracy in America. Peloponnesian War. The Annals of Imperial Rome. The Federalist Papers. The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. See, I don't know why you'd even include books like those. It's kind of dumb. Essays by Montaigne. This is the only book in the world of its kind, and its plan is both wild and extravagant, wrote Michael de Montaigne of his essays. What he meant was, first, that he was himself their subject, and second, that instead of following a line of lockstep logic to some single end, he chose instead to let his thoughts float freely where they wished, however hesitant or contradictory the results might be. On smells. If I touch my mustache with my gloves, or my handkerchief, it holds the scent for the whole day. It betrays the place where I have been. The close, luscious, greedy, long-drawn kisses of youth would adhere to it in the old days and would remain for several hours afterwards. Women may sometimes feel offended by Monsieur Montaigne, those undisciplined appetites and perverse tastes that they display during their pregnancies are present in their hearts at all times, he writes. It is not the only instance when, in commenting on women, he seems irretrievably locked into his age. Devil's Dictionary. That's Bierce, of course. Hermann Hesse Rosshalde. It's an ex-library book, and it's also a high school library. What years are these? 74, 71, 74. Jenny Zamplis. Heather Monroe. Back when people actually wrote with a pen. Ten years ago, when Johann Verguth bought Rosshalde and moved in, it was an abandoned old manor with overgrown garden paths, moss-covered benches, cracked stone steps, and a tangled, neglected park. The only buildings on the property which... This book I found as I was weeding out other books of my 13 from my most frequent thrift store. As I was paring those books down, I happened to put one near this one, and I saw it, The Mystical City of God. And that title alone did not attract me, but I know that Tan Books often has some interesting and alternative titles, and this is apparently an old book from the 1600s. The Mystical City of God by Venerable Mother Mary of Jesus of Agreda is a monumental 4-volume, 2,676-page history of the life of the Blessed Virgin Mary as revealed by Our Lady to this 17th century Spanish nun. This is abridged. Where does it say abridged? A popular abridgment. So I don't really know anything about it, but this will go in my section with nuns. Women artists in the 20th and 21st century. See, I don't see photography as art. It can be, but most of it's just picture taken like this. Doesn't mean shit. And not only that, but most people, well, there you go. Most people set up their art, so that's one thing I don't like. What I was saying, there can't be some great photos, but look at this. I mean, it's just a nipple down under the sea. I mean, God damn. How fucking desperate do you have to be for entertainment? That really moves me. Shut up. Shut up. In a way, you can be much more intimate with people you do not know. Marilyn. Living and dying in the age of AIDS. Oh, Lord. See, now that's fucking art. Those old advertisement pages. You ever go look at an old newspaper? That is art. This. Not so much. Rubbish. Rubbish. Didn't even look at the book. I just picked it up. Didn't realize how... I mean, like, even this, a painting is 50 times better than these foolish photos. Photos. Come on now. Come on. Just stop. This I've presented several times, and how an authorized autobiography by Gordy and Colleen Howell with Tom Delisle. Don't mind me scratching my finger. As with most copies, it is signed by both Hall of Famers. Colleen as I'm not sure why she's in the Hall of Fame. Don't know why she's in the Hall of Fame, but she is, and they're both deceased at this point. I have at least 5 copies of this, and I've sold many for 15, 20, 25 bucks, and I will sell more. Property of Rose Marie Walker. I don't know whether you passed away, Rose Marie, but someone donated your book, so now it's no longer yours. And I will sell it, hopefully for 20 bucks, signed by 2 Hall of Famers. J.D. Salinger, A Life by Kenneth Slowensky. Everything I've read by and about Salinger makes him appear to be an untalented hack of sorts, but for some reason he became very popular. Yeah, is this an actual front cover? That's crazy. I didn't even look inside the book. I just grabbed it. There it is. That can't be There it is. It's the actual front cover. That's pretty cool. Even though I don't like Salinger, it's still pretty cool. 63-year-old front cover of a magazine. Can't dislike that. There it was, too. I just saw it. There it is. A portrait of Salinger on the cover. Wonder if Mary Walker owned this book too. Yeah, this one basket I got most of these books out of. The Bukowski ones, the Salinger one, and this one as well. Stephen King, Just After Sunset, with the weird, whatever the hell that's called, the weird affect. I have way too many Stephen King books, considering I don't like the guy whatsoever, but as I said, I will always trade 50 cents for $5 to $10 books. And today, apparently, these were all 25 cents since it was Martin Luther King's birthday. And that's all.